Hey everyone, it's Monochromium. Recently, while I was fixing everything up I need to fix up for school, and helping my brother get ready for his first year of college, which is going to happen in the fall, I decided it would be a good idea for me to figure out exactly how many games I am going to play through in the future on my channel. Now, when I started this channel, I figured, I'll just play whatever comes to mind, and we'll see how far that goes. But, well, I figured at this point, since I'm making a long-term plan for, well, the rest of my life and how I'm going to spend it now by transferring to a different school and everything, I figured now would be a good time to make a long-term plan about how I'm going to play through YouTube when I'm, play it out, how this is going to play out in my future on YouTube. So I did some number crunching, and I listed all of the games that I'm going to play through and everything like that, and that's just with my current knowledge of games. I don't know if I'm going to... The games that I have are probably going to be moved around, replaced, and other things like that by games that come out, or whatever it is that's going to happen. But I came up with a list of 36 games, besides the 2 that I've already played on my channel, that I'm probably hoping that I'm going to end up playing through in the future of my channel. Now, obviously, since things weren't... I don't know if you guys could figure this out, but things weren't really working out when I was playing 2 games at a time, when I was doing Nightfire and Sword of Man at the same time. It was hard to get into a schedule for everything, and things just weren't looking good. So, the idea was that I would play through these 36 games one at a time until I was done with all of them. Now, it may not sound very daunting at this point, but like I said, I did the number crunching, and I came up with the idea of how long this is going to take me. In total, with 35 of the 36 games being around 15-minute episodes and taking a certain amount of months to get through and everything like that, and one of the games being 30-minute episodes because of the fact that it's so ridiculously long. If I didn't do it that way, it would take me twice as long. I came up with a few numbers that I want to kind of read off for you guys here. The total amount of time I would spend playing through these games one at a time for however long it's going to take is 8 years and 1 month. With that, and that's just the playthroughs, not with the multiplayer or anything like that, because the multiplayer would be accompanying it alongside all of these things. Now, the 8 years and 1 month, that's pretty much a rough estimate of me uploading a single episode of a single playthrough every single day for 8 years, with around 1 month for a break. So I get 31 days in 8 years to take off. The total amount of work time I would do with these things, because I figure a 15-minute episode would take me an hour and a half with my current technology to record, edit, render, and upload. Where the one that's going to be 30 minutes long, I added 30 minutes to it and it would take 2 hours. So the total amount of work time I would put into the playthroughs that I want to do would be 4,565 hours. In the end of all of this, if I did everything the way that I wanted to, where I uploaded a single episode of a playthrough per day, every day for the next 8 years, I would have 2,970 playthrough videos. If I uploaded 4 multiplayer videos per week, because I would upload them on the weekends, I would have 1,664 multiplayer videos. If I updated once a month, I would have 416 update videos. And I have the previously posted 107 videos that took me to get through Sword of Man and Nightfire and still do updates in some Brawl multiplayer. So in total, if you've been keeping score at home, that is 5,157 videos, which is around the equivalent of 54 days of footage. That means if someone was to try to watch every single video I have on my channel, without taking any breaks, going to the bathroom, eating anything like that, it would take them 54 straight days of 24-hour surveillance to watch everything on the channel by the time I'm finished with this. So as you can see, that's pretty intimidating, and I kind of figured it was going to be intimidating when I started doing the list and everything got really ridiculously blown out of proportion. The other thing is that that's probably not the final total of what's going to happen, because I still think that I can, because I want to bring the total right now, because with Sword of Mana and Nightfire on the list, that's 38 games played through total in my YouTube history, and that's when everything's all said and done. So I might want to bring the total up to 40, depending on how zealous I feel. I mean, I already feel overzealous considering the fact that I'm going to be here for 8 years, but the point of the matter here with these numbers is that I'm in this for the long run. So you may be wondering, what does this have to do with Ninbuzz and the situation that I had with them and the falling out that I had with them? Well, the point of the matter here is that, I mean, if I'm in this for the long haul, and I'm going to be around for 8 more years, which may or may not take a break from, because I might have to be going to, out of the state or something like that in order to go to get my master's degree or to get my MD, because I'm planning on getting an MD eventually. But point of the matter is that I'm going to be here for 8 more years. 8 years. That's a tenth of the average human's lifespan that I'm going to spend uploading playthroughs and giving you guys commentary about the game, gameplay tips, life lessons, all that stuff. And if I'm in this for such a long-term period, and I'm trying to plan ahead for myself like this, it becomes very clear that I can't sweat the small stuff. And by comparison to everything that's, going to be happening and the amount of future that I have ahead of me, this whole falling out with Ninbuzz thing is really, really child's play at the end of everything. Now, granted, that doesn't really explain my whole reasoning behind why I wanted to be on Ninbuzz in the first place. The thing with that was that someone actually asked, why upload to Ninbuzz at all if you're doing this as a hobby? Well, like I said, they wanted, there was a lot of their subscribers that wanted to see Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door uploaded to the channel, and I figured I have the resources available. Why not do it? Now, of course, there was that whole immature mindset in the back of my mind of saying, looking at the comments that I've received on all my videos about how you guys are universally supportive of my commentary and everything like that, and if I was as immature as half of the people who start this on YouTube, I could probably, get away with saying, oh, well, if everyone else thinks that this is so universally great, then I must be very, very good at this commentary. I must be perfect at it. So, surely, I'll be able to get on Ninbuzz without a problem. Now, I'm sure that it would be a logical mindset to everybody, but the fact of the matter is that I'm not that kind of person. I wouldn't ever hold the mindset that I'm better than anyone else at this. I'm of the opinion that I'm the best commentator on YouTube, but that's my opinion of myself. That's not what everyone else thinks. It may be what you guys think, but I know that not everyone is going to like my commentary. I know that I'm not perfect. So, what I'm trying to do, really, the real reason why I wanted to upload to Ninbuzz was so that I could kind of get myself out there and see what everyone else thinks, because in a larger audience, there's bound to be a split in decision on what people think of your videos or the subject at hand. So I wanted to kind of get myself out there, because in the environment I'm in now, I feel like it's going to go to my head if I keep doing stuff just with you guys. Now, that's not to say that I don't appreciate you guys' input, because I love you guys for everything that you've done and all the input that you've given me, because it gives me confidence to continue to upload. But the problem is that I know I'm not perfect. And I know that there will be people out there with new ideas of what I can do better and what I can do differently in order to change my commentary and make it better, or to change my content and make it better for everyone. So really, Ninbuzz was an attempt to get my channel recognized, yes, but it was to get it recognized not for the views or for the subscribers or for the likes and favorites and all that stuff, because that's not important. The important part was that I want to get better at what I'm doing. Now, I'm sure that this probably could have come to you if you realized, oh yeah, well, he's always going on about how you can constantly improve at stuff. And that was the idea with Ninbuzz, is that if I got there, this constant improvement would be a sped up process because I would get more feedback on what I'm doing, and it would be, it would be a sped up process because of that. But, like everything in life, it doesn't always work out. Now, the thing that I realized is that neither myself nor Ninbuzz were in the right when we did what we did about the whole thing. I'm not excusing their behavior for, shutting me out and not giving me any input on my video at all, but at the end of the day, Ninbuzz is a business venture. The guy that's the head director of Ninbuzz is an entrepreneur, and in order to make the most money off of his venture, he has to do what's best for the business. If that means breaking an unwritten rule of Let's Plays and playing a game that came out in the past 24 hours as opposed to waiting 2-3 months before doing it, because that's one of the unwritten rules of Let's Plays, is you're not supposed to do it for 2-3 months after it comes out, because you don't want to spoil everything in the game immediately. And I'll go into that in a second. But the point of the matter is that if that means breaking conventions and posting a game that has been out for 24 hours in order to get views, then that's what he's going to do. If that means shutting out someone who's not very well known, who was playing a game that might have been popular with a part of the fan base, but not all of it, and granted, Pokemon's not going to be popular with the whole fan base, but that's why they have other directors to pick up the slack for that. So, but if that means shutting out someone who's not as popular, who's playing a game that would only be popular with a small amount of the fan base, then that's what he's going to have to do. So, while I don't think that they were correct in what they did, I don't think that I was correct in going so off the wall about it and posting a video about it, because usually I try to let myself be in the other guy's shoes about the whole thing before I, make a rant about it. Sorry if I sound a little bit nasally. I think I'm getting a little sick, so anyway, about the whole unwritten rule. I was talking it over with one of my big inspirations, this whole situation. I won't give a name, but I am subscribed to him, and he's been around since the original Let's Players started doing Let's Plays. And he brought up this unwritten rule about how you're not supposed to play through games until 2-3 months after it's already been out. Now, the reason for this is because you got to put yourself in the developer's shoes. How do you think the developers feel if their game is spoiled within a week or two of it being released to the public? I mean, if I was a developer and I put months and years of effort into making a game, and then within the first week of it being out, somebody played through the entire game and spoiled everything for hundreds of thousands of people, I'd be pretty pissed. Not going to lie about that. I'd be pretty pissed. Now, I know that not everyone believes in that, and they don't have to. That's the whole thing, is that you don't have to believe what I'm saying. But that's what I think. So, in the future, although I have thought about doing games, at around the release date, excuse me, at around the release date, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to, I was going to play Uncharted 3 when it came out this coming November, which is, I think, when the release date for it is. But when it came out, I was going to play it. I'm going to wait on that, because I feel like this rule really struck home about everything that's going on with me right now. Because what happened with this whole Ninbuzz thing is also kind of the story of what's been going on in my life lately. And the problem with that is that lately things haven't been working out for me very well. So I've had to kind of, make adjustments, and really what I've gotten out of the whole thing is that you got to pick yourself up from these things. You can't let it get to you and get you down about it, because especially when you're my age or even younger than me, because you have so much life ahead of you and you have so much more to think about in the long term, that something as small as this, you can't let that get you down. You just got to keep getting up and keep fighting. Because even though, other people may get off without a hitch in this sort of thing, it's like I told the guidance counselor at the college I'm transferring to. Well, really she's an academic advisor, but you get the point. Anyway, it's what I told her there, because my major, if you don't know, is psychology, and I'm planning on teaching psychology and being an industrial psychologist and helping a company and helping the employees at the company to make sure that their needs are met without the need for a union shitting in our cornflakes the whole time. But it was like I told her, because I told her that this whole experience with school and with everything like that, with me needing to transfer, has been kind of enlightening for my career as a whole. Because when I go to a job interview in 4 years for an industrial psychology job with some big company, and the interviewer says to me, "So, you had this problem 2 years in, whereas this guy, who I just interviewed, he got through school with all A's, all the way through the 8 years. So, and he is an MD. So why should I hire you over him?" Now, my chances of being hired over that guy are abysmal at this point, because they see, the bad grades for the past year that I've had because I've hated the school that I've gone to. But then I'll tell them. I'll say, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I'm human. That guy's book smart, yes, and that's fine, because some people are book smart. But the thing is that people who approach me because I'm a psychologist are going to be down on their luck. And having known what it's like to be at the bottom of the barrel, I can relate to them better, and thus I can solve their problems easier. So, and I mean, even though my chances wouldn't be very high at that point of being hired, the point is that I have to take this whole experience and I have to turn it into a positive. Because really, that's what being a mature individual and being an adult is all about. You have to move on from these things. Because if you dwell on them too long, they're just going to eat you up. So, I guess to summarize the whole ordeal here, I can summarize it with a rather terrible metaphor, but we'll see what I can do about this. So, to summarize the whole ordeal in a nutshell, we're all asses together. It's just, some of the asses are built a little bit sexier than others. You know what I mean? And the ones that aren't built as sexy as the ones that are always stared at, they have to have dreams and goals of becoming as great as the ones that are always stared at. They have to work towards those goals. They have to work out in order for them to achieve that goal. But they have to realize that they can't set their expectations above the waistline. Oh my god, that was terrible. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. That was awful. I'm never going to be forgiven for that. That was terrible. But the point of the matter is that I'm over the whole Minbuzz thing. I've been over it for a long time now. Like for several days now. And I feel like it's time to move on. Now, granted, that doesn't mean I'm going to be posting videos of playthroughs anytime soon, because I still want to make sure that I get through this semester of college and, give a good impression on the college I'm transferring to. So I'm going to work my ass off there in order to, get that all straightened out. But what I'm going to do is that while I'm not posting playthrough videos or multiplayer videos, I'm going to try to, at least accommodate you guys while I'm, away for a little while. So what I did is that you may have noticed that there's a new playlist on my channel called MCR's Sights and Sounds. Now, that is basically a collection of my favorite video game tracks from pretty much any game that I can think of that I search on a whim. And I'm going to update that periodically with some new BGMs all the time while I'm away, and probably when I come back as well, because I'm going to try to max it out at 200 videos in that list. It's already at like 15 or something now, so it shouldn't take too long for me to do that. But so you can use that if you need some background noise for whatever you're doing, like for homework or something like that, to block out your annoying little brother who's trying to bother you, or something like that. Whatever you want to do with it. So there's that. The other thing that I'm going to try to do is that I'm going to make every attempt to work on a tutorial on how I do my playthroughs and commentary, and give tips to people who want to do this in the future, because it came up with someone who their friend wanted me to explain how I did my playthroughs and how I recorded everything and did my commentary. So they wanted me to explain the whole thing, and I gave them information on it, and granted, I gave them far more than they asked for, but I think I did a good job of it, so I think that I'm going to try with all my might to post a tutorial at some point while I'm on hiatus here. Excuse me. While I'm on hiatus here, I'm going to try to post a tutorial that gives you all the information you would need to know about recording this stuff. So there's that, and I might have a couple of other surprises for you guys along the way. Mostly ones that I will make known when I come back. But yeah, you get the point. So, in a nutshell, I'm over it, and it's time to move on. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this has been helpful with you, if you've been having any problems like I have. It's a new season. It's springtime. It's a new year. Let's make it count. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you sometime. So take care.